Hi, my name is Stephen Pfeiffer and I'm the founder of Oorsee. First of all, I just want to say Oorsee has no political affiliation with anyone. All we basically do is we get the information that's already out there, we box it up for you to help explain it, not just to you, but to ourselves. And that's why we often get the experts in that actually knows much more about certain topics than we do. Like, for instance, the interview Walter Jackson had with Leon Versfeld not too long ago, explaining what President Donald Trump said on the 7th of February. Now, the reason I'm talking to you is because Walter Jackson's not available. He's currently on some top secret mission. So while he's on a bender somewhere, I'm going to help explain what President Trump said on the 7th of March last Friday on his own social media. He posted semi-quote that he's going to fast track citizenship for Afrikaners. So we've been inundated with questions and people asking, well, can I just jump on a plane now and fly over to the United States? No. And you should know this. It's never that easy. And yes, even though Mr. Trump is the president of the United States, he does not have the power to just do that. I mean, to fast track citizenship means to change laws. To change laws means you need to get Congress involved. So I've made some notes. I'm going to be basically reading through those because I've done a lot of research. I actually looked up the laws and I've spoken to a couple of people. So here is what I have found in my research. So first of all, let's jump a little bit back to what Donald Trump said on March 7th. So Trump, March 7th, 2025, on Truth Social posted that he promises Afrikaner farmers and their families safe refuge in the United States with a rapid pathway to citizenship. Following an executive order on February 7, 2025 that reportedly cut aid to South Africa and directed their resettlement as refugees, he framed this as a response to alleged government-sponsored race-based discrimination and land confiscation in South Africa, claims tied to the country's new land expropriation law. Right. Can Trump just bring Afrikaners to the United States? As president, assuming that that is still what he wants to do, say for instance in a couple of months' time, Trump has significant authority over immigration policy, but there are limits. Executive power over refugees. So, the president can set annual refugee admission caps and prioritize certain groups under the Refugee Act of 1980. For example, he could designate Afrikaners as a persecuted group eligible for refugee status bypassing normal immigration channels. This doesn't require congressional approval, though it must align with international refugee definitions. For instance, well-founded fear of persecution based on race, religion, etc. There's plenty of examples of that in other countries, especially war-torn countries like Afghanistan is a good example where people had legitimate claim to apply for refugee status, and a lot of them have got it. Right. Evidence of persecution. The catch is that refugee status requires credible evidence of persecution. South Africa's government and many Afrikaner organizations deny that land confiscation and targeted discrimination is happening. It's true. There's just people that say it's not happening. And officially, yes, it probably is not happening yet. But we all know in the shadows what is really happening. So and so does President Trump, and that's why he's been making these announcements and making these new laws. The land expropriation law, passed to address apartheid-era inequalities, allows for land to be taken without compensation in specific cases, but no widespread seizures have been documented as of March 2025. Trump's claim hinges on a narrative popular among some conservative circles, but it's contested by mainstream data. If challenged legally, you need to substantiate this. That's the truth. The reason I'm touching on on these few topics is because I'm working up to what he has said on March 7th, because we at Oorsee have been inundated with people saying, well, can we just go now? No. Hang on. I'm getting to it. So, Bringing Afrikaners over would involve processing applications, background checks, and resettlement infrastructure handled by the State Department and NGOs. It's doable, but not instantaneous. Thousands of people can't just hop on planes overnight. They just can't. Can Mr. Trump, Donald Trump, President Trump, whatever you want to call him, currently he's the President of the United States, give citizenship quickly? Not directly. Citizenship is governed by statute, not presidential fire. Normal process involves refugees admitted to the US can apply for a green card after 1 year. Then citizenship after 5 years of permanent residency. So 6 years in total. Trump could expedite entry and green cards via executive action, but shaving years off the citizenship timeline would require Congress to pass new legislation. Shaving years of citizenship would require Congress to pass new legislation. This is very important. His phrasing that he did on Truth Social about rapid pathway to citizenship might imply waiving certain bureaucratic delays or prioritizing Afrikaners over other groups, which he can influence administratively. And that's what I said earlier. He can influence, but it's not his decision alone. A true fast track to citizenship would need a new law, something Congress, not Trump alone, controls. Historically, special citizenship provisions have been granted for Cuban exiles, for instance, many years ago, but these were legislated, not decreed. If Republicans decide that is the route they want to go, they'll need to pass a special bill, especially if Trump frames it as a humanitarian or populist cause. But that means possibly a divided Congress. And trust me, with the way things are currently looking in the States, I don't think he wants to divide Congress any further than he probably currently have. He would first want to just get through this first year of his presidency and have things start normalizing, like the economy and so forth. Not that I know anything about those things, and I don't want to talk into it any further. Here's what I do know. I'm from a small town in South Africa. Several small towns, really. I've moved around. I've also lived in Cape Town and along the coast after I started working. But I always went home. In the Makwaland, Great Karoo, and those places. And I remember while we were living in Louisfontein, Newtville, which is a small town about 80 kilometers or so from there. It's just outside Newtville where they made the story of the Namakwalanders, which is ironic because technically that's the Bushmanland. It's not Namakwaland. Namakwaland's a little bit away. But there was a farm there. I was like 10 years old, but I still remember it till this day. It was a horrific murder, and the whole family basically was wiped out. And those are the things that is currently happening in South Africa. It is happening. And if you follow the right channels, you will get the truth. You will get the truth reported back to you. And that's why, as opinionated and I am about Trump, and the things sometimes comes out of his mouth is scares me. But what he said gives me hope, you know. It makes me hopeful that the people that's really suffering back home, that you will have a way to get out and to give yourself and your family the life that they deserve. Because there's one thing that you learn when you move abroad. It's things you sort of take for granted after a while. And while you're in South Africa, you don't always have all those things, and you consider life just to be normal. Like in Cape Town where we lived, we've had running water, we had electricity for the most part, obviously with load shedding towards the end of our stay. And it was normal life for us. It was normal life. And it's only when you move overseas, like we have, living in the UK and then now in Australia, where you realize it wasn't normal. It's your God-given right to have running water. It's your God-given right to have electricity. It's your God-given right to have safety. It's your God-given right. And it's important for us that's actually made the move to not take those things for granted. And it's not easy moving abroad. And that's sort of where Oorsee comes into play, because it's a tool in your back pocket that can bring people together. It puts you in contact with other South Africans that's in the same area as where you live. You can reach out to each other and you can help each other with advice on where to buy food, where to buy a car, help each other with furniture and all those things. I remember when we moved over to the UK for the first time, we sold everything. We moved over with 6 suitcases, but we were blessed by people just helping us out with what we needed to set up a home. And the same thing happened when we came to Australia. Again, we had to sell everything we had because it's more expensive to bring everything over than to actually buy new stuff here. But I mean, we've been here for a month after we moved over back in 2018, and people just blessed us with what we needed again to set up a home. And that's what I'm hoping Oorsee would be for you. If you decide to move overseas, make sure you've got it on your phone and reach out to people, and I promise you, you will be helped. Same thing goes for the rest of social media. On Facebook groups, join them and reach out to people and ask for help. And that's as in my own personal opinion, as far as I do get involved. We have touched on the topic of what is currently happening in the world, and it's important not to ignore those things. So we try and talk into them. We are not experts. So please, when you decide to watch the video and you have questions, check the description as well. I'll make sure Leon Fashveld's link is in there. He knows everything that about what Trump said and what you need to do to take advantage of that opportunity. And obviously, like I said, in my own research that I've done, there is certain boxes and prerequisites that you need to tick in order to qualify. And even though President Trump made that announcement of fast-tracking citizenship, just hang on. Yes, it's great, he said it. He doesn't have that power. Not him alone. It needs to go through a whole chain of people to get that done. So I know you guys are excited, and like I said, we were one of the first people to actually speak in on that topic, and we got the right experts in the United States involved to help advise us on it. I want to make sure that you guys get the right information, because as soon as he made that announcement, the questions started flowing towards us, and I was asked to just help shed some light on what was said. That's it from me. Have a great evening, and wherever you are, stay safe and don't stop dreaming. And if you're on your way overseas or you just landed, join the app, join Oorsee, and share a little bit about yourself on there. Stay well.